Hello. So standing Pilates section here today. Think about how you're standing. So if you imagine yourself standing sideways on in a mirror, think about what you would like that to look like. That's probably going to get you into quite a good alignment fairly quickly. And then the idea is with Pilates, you maintain that perfect alignment while you're moving. That's what causes the core to work. Not standing like a statue, but maintaining that while we're moving. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. So your best alignment you can get into to start off with, feet just about slightly apart, and let's place your hands onto your rib cage, fingertips just touching, and just take a couple of breaths to start off with. What we're trying to do is breathe so that the ribs go out to the side laterally, and the fingertips, as you breathe in, just move apart without you doing anything. So not sliding the hands, it's the ribs that move. And that breathing practice is what you're going to try and maintain through all of the exercises. So I'm going to be talking about working with your breath, shoulders down the back. Good, lengthen through the spine, and all you're going to do is maintain that alignment that we had. You can stay facing me, and I just want you, without changing anything from the ankles, to just sway forward, and then from the ankles sway back. You can lift your toes but leave the balls of the feet on the floor. So not bottom sticking out, not arching backs, everything stays as it is. In fact, you're growing up towards the ceiling as you do this. Think about Michael Jackson doing his smooth criminal routine, where you saw him sway forward and back. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, and if you're not old enough to remember that, you need to Google it. So take a body weight forward, and we're going to come onto our toes, top of your head up towards the ceiling, and then we'll come back. And we'll lift the toes and we'll leave the balls of the feet where they are. So at the minute we're just going to keep our arms beside us, but we'll allow them to just take a bit of a natural swing here, keeping the shoulder blades in alignment. And then we'll see if we can drift the arms up, but keep the shoulders down. So the idea isn't that when you go up, shoulders go up. We keep the shoulders in exactly the same position. Remember what we talked about at the beginning? This is about maintaining that perfect alignment while you move. And if you keep your shoulder blades in position and float the arms up, the stabilisers in the shoulder blades here have to be working. So a great postural exercise for you to do. We're going to do one more like this. And if you get really brave, you can do these exercises with your eyes closed, and you'll really start to feel. Should we do one more? Eyes closed, yeah, get on. And really start to feel what's going on inside the body with these stabilisers when you take that sensory awareness out. How did you do? Okay, so we're going to come into a tie row position. So big toe, about in line with the centre of the heel. Now, if you struggle to really balance here, then take it onto tram lines instead. But if we can, we're going to come into this tightrope position and have your weight even between the front foot and the back foot. Now, lengthen through the spine and slide your fingertips down the seam of the trouser leg, and then come back to centre. So now, all of a sudden, we feel the stabilisers in the ankles and the knees, all around the pelvis starting to work. What's happened with that alignment that we had while we're moving? Have we still got that going on, or have we started to change things because we're trying to balance? So grow tall, let's work with your breath. And again, you don't have to look at me. You can close your eyes and do it if you're feeling very stable doing this. So we're just trying to get a bit of movement through the spine and work the stabilisers at the same time. Good. So I need you to remember which foot you've got in the front can try this with your hands by your ears. Now, when you put hands by your ears here, it works you a bit harder into the obliques. But it actually, it creates a bit of a counterbalance. Think about the guy on the tightrope. He'll put his arms out here to balance. So sometimes you might find that a bit easier from a stabilisation point of view, a bit harder from an oblique point of view. So you can do a few of these either way, some with arms up, some with arms down, different objectives, some with eyes open, some with eyes closed. Okay, so we're going to come back to neutral. Slide your shoulders down the back. We're going to come into monkey squat. There is another video that gives a bit more detail on monkey squat, but pole down the back of your head, hinge at the hip, bend your knees, keep the tummy button drawn in, keep the shoulder blades down the back, allow the arms to drift, shoulders don't come forward, leave them where they are. Come back to centre and then lengthen up. We're going to pay a bit of attention to the head position. Yeah, look at the back of my neck. Yeah, stays in alignment, not doing this, not doing this. Yeah, just look at the spot on the floor, out in front of you, and listen to me. If you're looking at the screen, it's going to make you stick your chin out. Yeah, so just listen, hinge at the hips, allow the arms to come forward, keep the shoulders down the back, and then return. So again, hinge at the hip, bend your knees. So this time, when you come into the balance, we're going to stay here. Can we come onto our toes? Nothing else changes. Heels go down, and then lengthen up. So again, hinge at the hip. Keep the position, bend your knees. Shoulders down the back, but arms drift forward. Onto your toes balance. Heels go down, and then lengthen up. One more, like that to go. Hinge at the hip, bend your knees. Allow the arms to drift. Onto your toes and balance. Heels go down. And then lengthen up. So let's take the other foot in front. Back to our tightrope position. Lengthen through the spine. Slide the shoulders down the back. Push the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Slide the fingertips down the seam of the trouser leg. Come back to centre. Sometimes you'll find it's easier for you to balance one side than the other. Pilates helps to even that out. So if it's harder for you to balance one side than the other, you don't have to wait for me to stand in a tightrope and do this. You can do this while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. Yeah, you can stand in a tightrope while you're cleaning your teeth, brushing your hair. It's all good practice. So remember, we said we can keep it like this, or we can place the hands by the ears. We're thinking slow and controlled. I'm working with my breath. One breath as I go over, one breath as I come back. Doesn't matter if it's a breath in or a breath out, but one breath as I go over, one breath as I come back in. Feeling the ribs expanding out to the side. And if I feel really confident here, I can do this with my eyes closed. I want you to think about your feet. What's your weight feel like underneath your feet? I suspect some of you will have taken most of your weight through the back leg. Let's get it even. Some through the front and some through the back. Shoulders down the back. Can we get a distance between the earlobe and the shoulder? So we're really pushing up against gravity. Let's come back to neutral. Coming back to our neutral position. Just going to practice an arm move first. So, core engaged, shoulders down the back. You're just going to float your arms forward, but I just want you to take them level with your shoulders. And then return down. Now you shouldn't be seeing any movement in my body when the arms go up. That's when we get the work in Pilates. I know you can take your arms up, but can you do it without doing this? Or this? I know I'm over exaggerating, but everything in position. Where's your weight underneath your feet when you do it? Has it now rocked a bit more through the balls of the feet, on the outside or the inside. I want you central here. Now take the arms here, stay here. Now take them out to the side, nothing else changes. Grow to the top of the ceiling. Good. Come back to centre and then down. Have a look at that from the side. So everything stays in position. I'm still looking at myself in the mirror. It's my best position in my best dress. Arms out to the side. Coming back and then down. So I lengthen through the top of the head. This is where I'm pushing. And then I'll open out. Oh, that should feel good if you've been sitting in a chair a lot. Okay, so I'm going to hinge at the hip. Bend my knees. Chin tucked in. Think about that position. Allow the arms to drift, just level with the shoulders. Return back and lengthen up. Have a look at that again. So I'm hinge at the hip, bend the knees, look at my head position, back of the neck nice and long. Arms just come in front of the shoulders now. I'm going to take them out to the side. Come back to centre. And then back down. So I'm coming forward. Here. Out to the centre. If I feel really clever, I might be able to balance on my toes when I do it. So here. On my toes now. Back to centre. Last one. Here we go. So you can practice these individually, a few minutes every day. Well done. So we're going to come into a kneeling position. If it's difficult for you to kneel, then you can do these standing, or you can do them in the tightrope position. So kneeling down onto the floor. When you're kneeling, you really need to think about the glutes, because you'll have an inclination to just let the bottom go, and then you'll feel the stress in the lower back. So, a little bit of engagement in the glutes. Look what that does to my lower back. Relaxed, engaged. Relaxed, engaged. So it lowers, lengthens that lower back, makes my glutes work a bit, and they're going to get lazy if we're sitting around a lot more than normal. Going to put thumbs on the breastbone, fingers on the chin, and we're going to push the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Push, 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 up to the ceiling. Really push up, not from here, not from here. Top of the head, lift up. So create a gap between the vertebrae. We've still got the glutes switched on. Breathe in, grow. Breathe out, rotate. Breathe in, grow. Breathe out, rotate. Breathe in, grow. So I want you to keep that going. And as you're doing it, I want you to think about the relationship between your earlobe and your shoulder. Yeah, your body's really clever. So if one part's not strong enough to do it, it'll try and help you out automatically somewhere else. So what it'll do, try and help you with your shoulders. They're not connected, it's just really, really trying to help you. So I'd like you to consciously put those shoulders down and create this long neck, really long neck as you rotate. And then come back to centre. We're going to keep the tip of the fingers on the chin, so we're not putting stress on the neck. All of this is coming from your thoracic spine. Your muscles will pull you. It's these muscles at the side that are pulling you into position. So when you get there next time, you're going to stay there. You're going to push the top of your head up towards the ceiling, grow a bit more, create a gap between the vertebrae, and then rotate a bit further. There you go. And then come back to centre. So we'll rotate round, stay there, grow a bit more, rotate round a bit further, come back to centre. It's not the shoulders, put the shoulders down. Lengthen and grow. How are we doing with these glutes? Engage. Now while you're doing it as well, I'd like you to switch off your calf muscles. Calves, just like jelly. Yeah, the calves really, really light, like jelly. If we can keep those nice and light, it'll make everything else switch on. One more each side. Shoulders down, lengthen and grow. Thoracic spine is all around the top of your rib cage, and if we're tight there, that's what causes us a lot of issues often in our shoulders and our neck. Well done. So we've done that last one. I'm just going to sit back here and stretch forward. If you're standing, just stretch out in front, let your head drop down. Oh, does that feel good? And you can stay here a few minutes, let the tailbone go down. So a bit of a stretch through the back in the other direction. And when you come up off the floor, I'd like you to put one leg in front of you, tuck the tongue underneath you. Okay, now if you need to use your hands, you can do. If you need to use a chair, you can do. But what I'd really like you to do is stand up. And you can do that on either side. Great practice when you're at home.